I guess the front-facing camera can work for something if you have a little table to put your computer on. Can't necessarily see my stitches. I am just double crocheting, but you can surely see my project. And it's just a bunch of random crochet stitches, mainly double crochet, but I do have some like bobbles on part of it. And you do that one on the wrong side, so oh, I guess if anybody really wanted to know how to do them, they can send me a message or something. Otherwise, I'm just going to crochet and maybe chit chat. But you never know what random stuff's gonna come into my brain. Really don't. I talk to myself a lot normally, but you don't want to hear those kind of conversations. Like, this is the ugliest yarn ever. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this yarn. I bought it just because it was king coal and it was chunky and I was wanting to loom stuff. Well, I tried it on the loom and it didn't look any better than it looks now. So it's really not a scrap blanket. It's just a ugly yarn blanket. The blanket would be awesome. It's just not sure about the colors in the yarn. But because I don't like marbled look and stuff, and a lot of it just looks like it's marbled because there's such short color changes, and then there's a long color change, and then it'll probably grow on me, especially when this winter when it's so warm for me. It keeps me warm, and then I'll decide I like it, I guess. But I'm just double crocheting it, and I double crocheting with my new first time trying Clover Amore hook. I've also ordered a Clover Soft Touch. I'm curious what the difference is. I've recently gotten some furls, and they're hard to get used to because of that big ergonomic area. And I'm used to holding my hooks up closer because it's got a big shaft on it. And then I got an Addy swing that really, I'm having a hard time getting used to it as well. But this one is just like any hook I would use. It's, not any problem. I've had hooks in the past where I've gotten, and the hook really only went to where the ergonomic part was, and then that would come out. And that was really frustrating. And that's back, when I was always getting the cheapest I could find, but I don't know, it didn't, when I got them from Amazon, and it didn't say anything about it not being a full hook, so I'm sure there's lots of cheapy ones there that, part of just the tip part is put onto a body part, or, a grip, or ergonomic grip, glued or sealed or something, and, eventually do come apart, so. For a while I was getting other ones, and since they came in, I was like trying to pull the rubber thing off to see if there was actually a regular needle in it, because sometimes those grips, when they have a full needle, they start twisting around right there and moving around, and then they're not comfortable, they're not lined up right. I have no idea what that phone is. It's probably my husband messaging from the other room. I told him I was going to be recording to ask me something. So go figure. Yep, this is him. sorry. It is 4 o'clock, 4:30, and he's already wondering about what we're going to do for supper. Sorry, leftovers. It's alright, because we had pizza last time. We got leftover pizza, which I didn't eat any of because I was not feeling well. And I ate some what we call slop. We make ramen noodles, and we put some canned chicken in it, or fresh chicken, whatever we have on hand, and a can of peas, and most of the time we cut up some potatoes and boil some potatoes too, but we didn't this time, and it tasted fine without potatoes. Don't need that extra starch. There's enough starch in the noodles, but anyway. Crap, that was him again. I know, I forgot to tell him, so yes, we're not doing anything for supper. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, honey, he's just outside the room. Told him he couldn't come in here because I'd be recording, so he's staying out of the room. I ran him off a little bit ago. So he thinks that sending me a message through the phone is less disrupting. And it probably is. I watch videos all the time where people's phones are going off and they just silence them. Me, I'm going to answer it, or he is going to bump into the room. Guess I should have waited and seen if he did, so you guys could say, or so he could say hi to the camera. Usually, when I'm crocheting, I don't do it like that. I say, Siri, read text message, and then I make her reply back, and it's always bumbled wrong, but that's the only way I can, so because it seems like he only wants to talk to me or bother me when start doing knitting or something. What should I do next? This is the front side here. I don't want to do more bobbles right now, so there's really nothing other than some more double crochets to do. And on the end, I hate doing just a chain and counting that as a stitch, so I usually chain 1 or 2 and then just don't count that and go right into the very first one, because see, there's those gaps I don't care for when you chain 3 like there. I don't know, I don't think on my ugly blanket it should matter. The side's gonna be ugly too, but I'm trying to find one. I used to do the standing ones to start with, and then there was a way to do them a standing one when you're already got yarn, attached or whatever. And I don't know. I think it's more trouble than it's worth. And then there's a thing where you can single crochet and then go back through that single crochet side and do it. I really don't like that one because that one always makes me lose stitches. Just by 1 or so, and then I don't know why, and I make sure that I'm putting it at the top of the stitch and not the chain, or not the single, but somehow I gain a stitch and then I lose a stitch. Just like this one's supposed to be 150, and I'll probably have to count this next time just to see. I got another one that that's my actual scrap blanket. It's supposed to be 166 and then goes between 166 and 167, and I don't count every row, but when I count, then it's always off, and I either gotta just say, okay, I'm going to go with that many and count in a few. And there's been times I've just decreased the one if it was too many. So, I don't know. But if you look at it, it doesn't look like it's lost a stitch. I mean, it doesn't look like it's not lined up on the sides. Very little. I mean, I guess just one stitch didn't matter. You must have got the hint. Just went to the store. I think I need to start drinking coffee again because I've been drinking water and broth of a morning. In summer, I don't like to drink things when it's hot out. That's hot. The broth included. But we have it so cold in the house sometimes it's okay. But I haven't been having much caffeine. I used to drink tea all day. And lately tea has just been not liking my stomach. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the caffeine because I never drink the tea until, had a sufficient amount of water, and then, so I don't know why the tea is. I'm kind of a tea snob anyway. I only will drink the Gold Peak. I've tried other kinds, don't like them. I've brewed my own too. But just lately, they've been bothering my tea. So when school starts back and I go back to work, we'll see how that works. Because it might not bother me then, because I'm, running around doing whatever. And I'm definitely a water snob. I will not drink the city water. It is gross. I know I was raised on a hose and all that, or I could drink out of the hose from real cold water. But now it just tastes gross. It tastes like it's got things in it that are dirt. So, and I don't like water per se but so I have to have good tasting ice cold water. And I don't know, people laugh at me because I don't want to drink that's why they can't drink much water. They say they never get their water quick. Well, it's probably because you drink one glass of that city water, you don't like it. But like I said, I used to drink tea all the time, and it's just starting to just whole stomach thing or something. I don't really know what would be in tea that would do that. But I'm also grew an aversion to hamburger. I used to think it was my husband making some hamburgers on the grill that weren't quite done. And then it was a mental thing because after that I was just like, oh no, gross, gross, gross. But I haven't been able to eat one since. I haven't quite got the 96 ones before, where they're mostly meat. I can do roasts okay, but I've even got fast food ones and they were kind of gross. Now that's my Ring doorbell. Well, actually, it's just saying a person. It's probably a person walking by on the sidewalk. I haven't blocked that stuff out yet. Oh, well, it's Monday, so I wouldn't be having church people. We had church people yesterday. Or it's probably just when he went and picked up my... It's kind of delayed. Oh, yep. It's my neighbor's pulling. That camera's good. Anyway. I don't even know what I was saying before that. Probably I'm going back out and get more groceries out of the car, so I'm just going to let it keep dinging. Because if I turn them on, all my notifications off, I'll forget to, and then I won't get an alarm I need. Or or Jeff will text and something out of something at the store, and he'll call or text and ask me what I want to substitute, or he'll send me a picture of something and say, is this what you want, or whatever. But sometimes my daughter calls and gets very upset when I don't answer. But they know I don't like to talk on the phone. I hate it. I put it on speaker right away, tell them, and then I sit back and talk. I just feel like holding my phone up there and talk it and switch it. Yeah, I don't talk on the phone. And she don't call me very much anyway. It's usually crisis when she calls me. She lives in Colorado, and my other one lives about 2 hours away. That's about as far as the rest of them. I have 5 altogether, and I don't know, 14 grandkids, but they're all getting older too. My oldest grandchild's 23, and I got a 19-year-old and 16-year-old. It just kind of goes down. I think the youngest one's maybe 9 or something like that. I don't know. I have no memory, so I had all this wrote down, and yeah, it's too many. Now I could tell you my kids' birthdays, and some of them I can tell you all their weights, and I used to be able to tell you the time of the day they were born, but now I kind of just have a middle of the night, or one was born at 6 something in the evening. That's about all I can say now. No. This is kind of a neat way to do it. This is how I should do live videos, I think. I think more people, live videos are kind of like podcasts in a way. I think more people want to see someone's face when they're doing that, instead of just, the last live one I did, I just positioned the camera and you can't see anything but my yarn area. You can't see the exact stitches because it's still not bird's eye level, but I've seen a lot of them that were kind of like this, and they're just podcasts where they're not really trying to do tutorials yet. I mean, I'm not doing a tutorial. I mean, I will try that eventually, because I think I can just sit at my desk and straddle the tripod and let the camera have the good view so you can actually see the stitches. But that's going to be all down the road. I can't believe school's getting ready to start. Staff has to go back August 5th. Oh my goodness. Then we have like freshman day, and I'm not looking forward. And it's not that I miss the kids. I look forward to seeing the kids. It's always so hot in the buildings, in August, and just running around because it's the stress of the first week of school, or the second week of school even, and it's just always hot. I always think I planned something that I wear and it'll keep me cool, but it doesn't always work that way. And that first couple weeks is really working out the kinks, getting the kids used to a new routine every year, and I'm going to a different building this year, so it's going to be having to figure out a routine for myself in the classroom and other people I work with. I was at the middle school 7th grade last year, and I'm going to the high school this year. I worked 6 years at the high school before, but transferred to the 7th grade because they didn't have enough kids at the high school at that time. They were having a bunch of 7th graders. Well, now it's the opposite. They only have like 2 7th graders coming up because I work in a specialized room. The kids with Alzheimer's, yeah, that's what I got. Autism, and just other lower level academic, just a different variety. And they got the high school, they're going to have several classrooms. Some are dysfunctional, others are higher level autistic, and some are just got like very behind academically, but not, necessarily diagnosed with much. But then there, of course, there's some behavior ones, or a lot of them don't have, they can't communicate sometimes just appropriately. They say, naughty words and stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But this is my blankie. And this is the right side. You see that one row of bobble things there? I just wanted to see if I could do them. Those are just like 4 or 5, I'm not sure, double crochets into the same stitch, and then it pops out on the back. And I don't know if I found it on a different side, and I don't know if I put a stitch in between or what it was. Put a couple double, skip over and do a couple double crochets. Something, I don't know. Try to look at the back on there and see what's in between them. Looks like 2 double crochet, or 2 half double crochets, or 2 something. I don't know. I have to find that thing again before I want to do that, or find another way to do the. This is probably a different way to do a popcorn. I think it's almost like a popcorn, but it's not made that way. I don't have to draw the string through it, so it really does look like there's just 2 stitches in between each bobble thing. I'll have to go back on my history and look what I did. Okay, now I should have did single crochet again because I could have done the cross stitch. I'm going to do what stitch now? I'll do the cross stitch. I might just do some post stitches. Should I do some trebles? And then do a half or a double? Yeah, I could do that. Treble all the way down. And then the next stitch do a double. Yeah, I don't know. I don't much care for that. I think I'll just do a herringbone stitch. I guess I'll do a double crochet one. I like the half double crochet ones better, but since I got this hook that's actually not giving me any trouble with the yarn gliding through. The other hook I was using on this was that second stitch on that herringbone to go through that one last stitch before you go through the 2. It's giving me trouble with that other hook, and this one seems to just go fine. So I quit doing it because it was so slow, because I kept getting tangled up on that stitch just before pulling through 2. Let's see if maybe I'll like that double crochet one better now. Oops. My brain goes elsewhere, and then I try to just do a regular double crochet and I just get too relaxed. My brain wanders off and I start thinking about other stitches that I can do on here. And then my brain tells my hands to do it. Sometimes I gotta keep telling myself over and over what I'm doing. Yeah. That's faster now, and that's kind of a cool looking stitch. I might do it for a while because that regular double crochet was kind of boring there for a while, and it still, you have those gaps. But I don't care. This is heavy, even gaps and all, so I'm sure it will be warm this winter. I don't have any other blanket I want to do like just random color. I mean, this is all that one type of yarn and colors, variegated stuff. So, and I got some more coming, so I want to keep it this way. So, but this is a J hook. The other ones I ordered, I think I ordered an H, I hope, because I use a lot of H for DK yarn. This is a J, and I'm using it with bulky, which isn't like extremely thick bulky at all. I could say it in instead of a 5, it's more like a really thick 4, maybe. I don't know. It just seems a little thinner than some of the bulkies I'm used to. But there's some bulkies that are thick like that, but then they're so soft once you get them on needles or whatever and tighten them down, they don't work up like they're bulky either. I do want to take a picture of this at some point too, but I'll have to wait just so I can use it for the thumbnail. I used to crochet a lot, and then I got so bored with it because it seems like I had tried every pattern out there and every tutorial that was like on Mikey's website. I mean, I just done so many, and I felt like I was getting them done so fast that it's like I needed something more challenging. So that's when I taught myself to knit. Well, knitting hats was awesome. I love those hats. They looked very professionally as far as, kind you'd buy in the store with a stockinette stitch. I think I made one corner to corner blanket. But it's just the knitting, it just seems to take so long. So I went from super fast to like taking me forever, yeah. But I taught myself to knit. Managed to do that, and I've gotten some completed projects. I'm working on some now, a log cabin knitted blanket that's been on my hook forever, and then a patchwork one, which is like the people do that are the memory blankets, but they do it in sock yarn. I'm doing it in DK, and that's a big work in progress because even some of the people that do the memory blankets, they're doing them with sock yarn, but they still say it takes them years to finish. I don't want that. I want to get my projects all done. I have off of the traditional corner to corner stitch patchwork blanket. I started out with having it just solid colors, but I threw that to the wind and was doing some variegated ones in there because it was basically what yarn I had on hand. And I'm also doing a corner to corner squares like that. It's the log cabin kind. What else do I got? I got a mile a minute on that I started. Only got one strip done. Got bored with that one too. But now that I'm gonna have these new hooks, I might. I mean, I did those with a. I'm not gonna. See, this is a bad thing is whatever size needle I knew on some of these projects, I put those projects away. I don't know. But it was either an H or an I. I have gotten a granny straight on the way. I've got some Karen Cakes yarn up there I haven't even touched. Then there's some other, there's like a 10 stitch blanket. Not gonna do it. And then one that I took off the loom that was scrappy, like a really scrappy yarn. I took them off of the loom and put them on some needles. That'll probably be the very last thing I do. I don't know. But I'm really trying. I'm 60 years old and I don't want them to be thrown away when I croak. So if they're completed, you know, my kids, somebody might decide they want them. I don't know, but I just gotta quit having works in progress and unfinished UFOs, unfinished objects. I got to get this stuff done, gift it, keep it, package it, and put it in the basement, something. So I can buy more yarn and not feel guilty. Because I get so mad at myself when we even go near yarn or I see something sale coming or something. You know, I buy it and it's like, nobody's going to buy this new yarn, have it delivered, and not go ahead and start a project. Because I'll be knitting on old things saying, I gotta finish this first so I can do that yarn. And I don't. I can't enjoy the process of what I'm doing because that yarn's calling my name. And so I really, really need to get some of these things done. I don't care much about the scrap ones if they get done. Because that's what they're for. What's left over, I can just add to those. Now, the corner to corner patchwork thing, I don't consider that scrap, even though I'm using some. Because it's got to be long enough for me to finish a 5 or a 6 by 6 square of the corner to corner, the traditional thing. Just like the log cabins, I don't consider them scrappy because I'm going to make a strip that's all that same color. I'm not going to like start a new color in the middle. And with my scrap projects, wherever my yarn ends is where I start a new color. So I don't consider them scrap in that sense, because if I don't have enough yarn to make a square or, you know, get across enough time, then I'm not using that piece. So I consider those works in progresses, and the scrap blankets are kind of just get some of your work and projects done so you have some yarn to add to this, you know. I wouldn't be adding this here particularly, probably. But I did have a scrap loom blanket too, and it turned out pretty cool actually. And that's one. And it's like I'm working on one that's kind of scraps, but kind of not. I bought yarn for it, but I'm randomly putting new colors in. You know, not in the middle of the project, so that in my opinion, doesn't make it a scrap if you're not technically using up any size of scrap you have. I'm actually doing a full row or full skein of them and trying to play yarn chicken to see if it'll get through the next strip. If it doesn't, I back it up, or if I look at it and say, I'm not going to be able to get around again on that, then I put that in the scrap pile. There one time I thought I'm going to play yarn chicken, and I actually won, and I was like really surprised. And there's times I thought I had enough to get around it, and so I had to go back and unloom it all, and that it's kind of like knitting in a way, because you know, having to pull back knitting stitches sucks. That's another thing that's better about crochet is, you mess up, you ain't got that far to go, unless you've done something 4 rows back. But you know, for the most part, you're doing one at a time, and you can catch that stuff by the next row. And when you rip it out, you ain't gotta worry about other yarn down the rows getting messed up because you had to rip out. So that's another good thing. And with me, mainly liking to do blankets, crochet just needs to be my go-to. I'm still gonna have those others. I'm still gonna, you know, try other things, but and I don't think my arm after my stroke hurts any worse crocheting than when it does. Used to be the loom was the one that caused the least numbness and stuff in my arm and hand, but now I don't think it matters. And if it starts getting really numb or really bothersome, I just stop, and then it'll go away after a while, and then I can go back to it. And it doesn't, you know, like as soon as I pick up the hook, start getting numb. I have time to do substantial knit crocheting or whatever until. But if it really is bothering me from the time I get up in the daytime, then I stick to looming because it doesn't hurt as bad. It doesn't give me near the numbness that it has. Crochet usually is the one that gives me the most trouble, but I'm finding now knit it's not much worse. And I have to be able to crochet. I actually, before I had my carpal tunnel surgery, first I taught myself to crochet left-handed and knit left-handed because I was trying to show a co-worker that was left-handed. Well, and then when I had the stroke, but then they decided to do a carpal tunnel on my right side because that was what was affected with the stroke. So they thought some of it might have just been due to the carpal tunnel as well, the way I was staying numb. And I did have they showed a lot of nerve blockage and stuff. So I taught, and so when I was going to have this carpal tunnel, since I'm right-handed, and that was going to be I was like learning to write my name left-handed because, you know, I knew I was going to have to sign, and I can do writing pretty good too when I concentrate on it, but it's kind of like one of those things, if you don't use it, you lose it. So when I'm drawing and stuff, I'll have a tendency to like try to write my names and stuff, so it takes a little bit, but if it ever came down to it, I could do it. You just have to be patient with me if you want me to write like something specific, or I can hunt and peck on a keyboard, I suppose, too. But I mean, I broke my arm when I was a kid, right arm, and had tried to write left-handed, and I remember my teacher, she finally gave up, and she was like, and you know, we'd put my cast up on the desk, and I was trying to write, and I couldn't because I couldn't twist my arm out because I was supposed to keep it. It was like from my wrist all the way up to my shoulder, and she finally gave up, and I had to do my test like last or something. When a kid would get done with their test or their paper or their whatever, because they didn't have Paris back in the 70s or 60s, I guess, but they would have a student come over and I'd read the test or read the paper or whatever, do the answers. But like for writing proficiency, of course, I got out of doing those, you know, when they were practicing on writing or whatever, but it was crazy. I was glad to be out of that cast, though. And then it's just like, now this is on my right side. I hurt my right foot when I was a teenager. I mean, it's just like the whole right side of me is all messed up. My right eye is the one that's the worst as far as vision, because I got hit with the apple gourd or whatever those gourd things, those big green things. We were, I don't know, a bunch of kids dropped on them and each other, I don't know, playing dodgeball with them or something, and I didn't have as good an aim as some of the boys did. That boy got me right in the eye, and I was blind for a while, and went to a specialist, and he was mad because the regular doctor said I was going to stay blind, never get my sight back, and I got to wear sunglasses for a long time, and you know, they did some specific drops, and so I don't know what all they did, but I got my sight back, but there's still scar tissue there. That's what the eye doctor tells me now, and it's definitely lower vision and stuff, so I ordered my glasses online, and when I was putting in, one of them was a positive, whatever those things are that, you know, they put one was negative. Now, this is a very rare thing. Are you sure? Yes. So I don't know. It's weird. I just love rambling. Because that's what I do. I'm kind of really liking the stitch now. I may do more of it. You know, that herringbone thing sure don't look the same on both sides, does it? It's very different. Anyway, I like the rhythm that it does too, because it's relaxing though. You know, going like you're doing a double crochet and pulling through one, then pulling through one, and then pulling through two. But you pull through the one that's on there where you got the three, so you put three on, and you pull through that second one that you wrapped, and then you pull through the first one that's on the hook. You don't do a double crochet from there. If you did a double crochet from there, it would be the half herringbone. I just think this yarn is so ugly. I think when I saw it, I think it reminded me of candy corn or something. And you know, yellow and orange and white all look good together. So this was that. But then some of these other colors that with the same brand and all were, I thought it would make a good loom blanket, because the loom would be short, you know, shorter together or closer together type stitches. But when I put it on the loom and did several rows, I had to, it did not look right at all. I thought it would all look like a solid, like a textured marble, but it did not. So anyways, it's 5 o'clock here, and I haven't eaten anything but ramen today. So I'm going to cut this video off and go eat me something. Go get me something to drink. Husband's still at the store. He shops worse than an old lady does. I mean, he just takes forever over there. I like to get in, get out what I want. He meanders around, and then of course, you know, being Dylan's, he does, oh, I had to get 5 because it was 5. Buy 5, save 5. Or I got 3 of these and 2 of these to buy 5. Did you really think we needed 5 of those? I just, you know, buy one, yeah, you're not saving your, but when they're that expensive, what is the big deal about just, you know, saving $5, $1 on a package? Think about that, honey. But he's also the kind that buys a package of ramen when you can buy them individually cheaper. That doesn't always happen, you know, but he doesn't do that kind of, he gets fooled for the end caps and things that they say have sale. I can remember years ago when they used to have those cube pops, and we used to get those because I used to drink a ton of pop. Well, he always got the cube, and I was like, you know what? 2 12-packs are cheaper. I mean, it was just a gimmick to get you to buy the cubes, as, you know, promotional, whatever, but he just doesn't get it. I don't know. Alright, this is my last stitch. I'm going to shut you off, and Hopefully I didn't drive you too nuts by just watching me crochet. That would be a good podcast, I guess. If I could get people to come, like 2 or 3 people, just 2 or 3 people. But, oh well. See you later.